I want to talk about mental health. As you guys know, I am a holistic mind, body, and soul wellness coach, and I talk about the holistic of the body. So today we're going to talk about mental health. Welcome back to Eating Fruit with the Trees. Of course, I have my trees with me. And today I don't have any fruit because I honestly really wanted to do the video and I was definitely too lazy to go to the store, get some fruit. But anyway, I have my water with me. Mental health has been a topic. It just came to me through conversation with a goddess here about walking depression and how people actually can function normally, but they're actually really depressed. I don't necessarily pay attention to it because I'm typically always in a really good mood and I'm always happy and I'm always bringing light and positivity and good energy to situations. I don't often think about how they could possibly be going through a spat of depression or a spat of walking depression. I did an episode on seasonal depression before. You can definitely go check it out. I'll link it here. First thing that I want to mention is social media. Taking social media breaks is important, and I also was having a discussion like this with other women. It was more about a discussion about love and how we view love, but in that conversation I mentioned how social media has such a voice, a societal opinion on how we should feel about things. We're constantly ingesting a basis of what life should look like, collective consciousness of thoughts that are not originally yours. Social media is also putting a voice in your head that's not your voice. And I think it's important to take some social media breaks, give yourself time and space to think your own natural thoughts, register information that is coming from your source rather than another voice online. This can easily mess with your psyche and mess with your mental, make you think thoughts that are not necessarily your thoughts, or when you view images that are disturbing, or when you see things that are supposed to be funny, like these social experiments, for example. Those type of things mess with your brain in certain ways that makes you depressed about the world. And even these videos about genocide and murder and all these things, you need a break from that stuff. You want to connect with yourself and tap into yourself as much as possible in order to understand who you really are, your soul, your mind. So take a social media break. It's very important. Another mental health tip that I want to give is do things alone. So doing things alone is important. An old friend of mine had asked for some advice on a breakup, relationship breakups. And I had told her, get back into the groove of doing things alone, because when you're with a partner, you create some type of codependency, you create an attachment, and you're always doing everything with that person, and you kind of don't want to do anything without that person because you really enjoy that person. So creating a habit of doing things alone will also put you in a state of solitude, a state of peace with yourself, a state of understanding of the things that you actually enjoy doing and the things that you don't enjoy doing. It also helps you give yourself more grace, because when you do things alone, you're doing things on your own time. And it helps you build a sense of solitude. And in that solitude, you will be able to listen, hear, and understand yourself. Doing things alone could easily be like going grocery shopping alone, going to the movies alone. Time spent in solitude can help with your mental health, because again, you're using your own power to connect with your own thoughts and your own narrative. You're not listening to the advice and opinions of other people. Practicing silence is also a really good and important tip for mental health. I was just reading a couple of pages from a book, The 7 Spiritual Laws by Deepak Chopra. In the first couple of pages of the book, it was talking about practicing silence and how important silence is because of the same thing I just mentioned, because of your own narrative in your mind. Being silent and not having any judgment about anything and not listening to anything. Silence also means not listening to any music, not listening to any type of, or reading any books or anything around you, no TV or nothing, just kind of being quiet and embracing the nature around you. Being silent is so powerful, again, because you get to listen to your inner narrator, and it helps you clean your mind out. Another good mental health tip is finding new hobbies. Finding new different creative things to do will literally help with your mind, because your mind is fighting itself because it wants to expand more, it wants to learn more, it wants to do more. And when you're constantly just thinking of all the negative things in your life, all the bad things that has happened and could possibly happen to you, those thoughts are just taking over your mind. You have nothing else going on in your brain except for those things. But when you're able to release those things creatively, when you're able to use your energy to release on paper writing a story, drawing, painting, these different type of creative outlets, you are able to free your mind of something so constricting and open it up and expand it to different things that are more healing for you. I feel like a lot of people go through this mental chaos, this mental battle because they don't have anything to do. There's nothing to do except for scroll on social media. You don't have any plans, you don't have any hobbies, you may not have a lot of friends. Creating hobbies for yourself will really, really save your life almost. For example, some hobbies that I really like doing is finding new recipes and making new different recipes. Cooking is a love language for me, and it is something that I love to do for myself. And anytime I'm with someone or I make new friends, I just want to cook for them. It's like a community, it's like a love thing. It's a very bonding thing for me. You can make new hobbies like this, play tennis or trying out yoga or trying basketball. Finding new hobbies is going to be like one of your number one saviors. Another thing that you should do to help with your mental wellness, just in general, you don't always have to be suffering to do these things. You can just add these things to your mental wellness routines, is eating consciously. I put eating consciously on the list because I believe, number one, it goes back to what I was saying about eating is definitely like a love language for me, and eating is a compassionate love thing for yourself. So eating consciously, meaning planning your meals more consciously, thinking about eating more natural whole foods, adding more fruits, adding more juices, adding more natural things from the earth to your diet helps you because you're being intentional. You're telling your brain to tell your body that you love it. Doing things like consciously creating meals, consciously eating certain things for the health of your brain, for the health of your body. So, for example, knowing what benefits certain foods have and eating those things with the intention for that benefit to serve your body. That's eating consciously, eating because you know what you're eating it for. So practice eating consciously, practice eating for yourself, eating for your body, eating for your health. Practice that and you'll see how much better you feel just all over, especially mentally. The last thing I want to mention, writing things down is important for your mental health. Writing things down will help you clear your mind. It'll help you get things down on paper. Doing this within a ritualistic point is also very healing and also very powerful. So when I say ritualistic, I mean creating a space, a ritual, an altar for yourself that you can actually, it's almost like going to the therapist. Like it's a space where you can actually release and let go. So creating this space for yourself, and you can put any objects you want around you, candles, crystals, smudge sticks. You can do anything you want, offerings, anything that you want to create your own altar for yourself. Writing things down, getting it out on paper, getting it out of your chest, getting it out of your stomach, getting it out of your mind and putting it on the paper, releasing it to the paper, letting it go, and then burning it and releasing it to the element of fire and releasing it to the ether. It is such a powerful ritual that you can practice for yourself. Even if you don't do it in such a ritualistic fashion, if you don't do it in such a ceremonial fashion, just writing it down and crumbling it up if it's an anger note, and throwing it out or doing something powerful that incorporates gestures and actions is a very powerful tool that you can use for your mental health, and I suggest it strongly. Journaling is also very important because you get the opportunity to express yourself authentically without judgment, without any type of bias. You get to actually express yourself without any unsolicited advice. You get to really pour out everything that you want from your brain on paper. There's a ton of other mental health tips like exercising, going for a run, taking baths, doing self-care routines, getting into a self-care routine. There's a ton of other things that you can do, but I'm going to leave it here for now. I just want to say thank you guys for always watching and continuing to follow my journey. And I love you guys so much, and so much peace, so much wellness.